So you can spend $5,000 for someone to do this for you, or you can spend $500, under $500 in parts and do it yourself, right? And in our case, it took us 3 weekends because we have day jobs, all of us.
Right.
And when I say 3 weekends, really 3 days because we only worked on Saturdays, right? So really, this is a very heavy weekend job if you want to do it in a 1 weekend. If you have help, right?
Yeah.
You can do it in a weekend, or definitely a 2 or 3 day project if you don't have something else to do during the daytime, right? Don't you think, Elpida?
Yeah.
So this is the last episode, and I'm going to put cards up to see the previous episodes. But this is the conclusion, the reveal, and we hope you're going to watch this video and enjoy it. Again, this took us under $500. If you want to know the exact amount in 2022 dollars, let me know and I will tell you. But again, it is not over. It's probably close to 400 actually. I don't think it's even close. And when I was pricing them, they were $5,000 and above.
Oh my goodness.
So yes, DIY pays. You can do things and save money, correct?
Yeah.
So like we do in all our videos, we're going to show you every step, and along the way, we're going to show you some tips and tips
and trips, yeah.
Tips and tricks. So stick around, and we're going to show you everything you need to know. Oh, you didn't?
We're always here.
You said all right. So are you full?
Yes, we're rolling now.
So here we are. As you remember, last week we finished all the structure, and today we bought panels, and we are going to start covering the roof, actually having a roof, right? Because now we just have the infrastructure. So we hope that this will be a fun and entertaining project. So far it hasn't been today, right?
Right?
But we hope it will get better, so stick around. So we're under the deck, and as you can see, the infrastructure is completed. It has been here for what, about a week now, since we finished it last week. And
Yeah.
we have seen zero movement, you know. In fact, all our posts are quite solid. As you can see, I can move the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Because again, it is not connected to the house. Otherwise, you wouldn't. And I guess that's one of the differences we need to point out, because this is a freestanding, you can do this, right? But the point I was trying to make, every post is solid. We don't have a concern
Right.
about sliding or anything. So we're going to start finishing, and today we're going to finish. We're going to have a functional roof, but down the road we're going to do other things, right?
Okay.
We're going to probably put a ceiling
Okay.
to make it even prettier. So here we are. Initially, this is what you're going to see under the roof, but then we are going to actually create a ceiling, as we said. And now the fun part, right? We have to attach all of them, right? And make sure nothing leaks, and all the fun things we have to do. Okay. So we have loose panels up. We have not started connecting them yet, so we're going to put probably all up but one, right? The last one we have to put it when we connect it. But already the space is defined. I mean, look here on my head. And we have plenty of space even all the way here, right?
Oh yeah.
It is fine. It's pretty good.
And so the reason why we have the gaps in the panels right now is we don't yet have the screws, the fasteners, to fasten the panels together.
Because the store didn't have any of the... There are special screws, but we need to mention that, right? The screws have to have a washer in them so they will not leak. Because you go through the screws to the wood, and if they are normal screws, they will leak.
Right, and they only had 4 of these particular panels, so the missus has taken a second trip to a second store
With the junior.
to get the
more panels.
the 5 more panels and the screws. But for now, we put these up just to have them all up there so they don't get bent and destroyed on the ground, and also just to have them ready to go as we start assembling. And we're going to start from this side. The reason being, we have a very large drop off here. And our ladders just would not allow the right kind of reach if we built from that side over here. There's much less of a drop off and we'll have the ladder reach.
And really, each panel is not very heavy, but they are very awkward because they're 12 feet long.
Yes, yes.
So it wasn't hard putting them up there, but...
Yeah, it's just an awkward thing. And again, we had brought them in from this side. They were up against here. We just picked up a singular panel at a time, tilted it up, and then tilted it up this way. And we had one person on the ground and one person here with this step ladder just to bring it up and set it onto the rafters.
Yep.
Okay?
Let's continue. And here is Mrs. DIY bringing the well-awaited panels. It never seems to fail that every time I'm trying to record the video, one of the neighbors is deciding to do something very noisy outside. The rest of the time our neighborhood is extremely quiet. So this is something you should not cheap out on, right? Mm-hmm. These are $7.59, I think, per 50. Mm-hmm. So we pay $15 for a box of 100 in our case.
In our area, yeah.
This is a 10 by 12 deck, just to give you an idea, and we took about 9 screws. Mm-hmm. And Elpida, what is so special about those screws? Why they're more expensive?
So they have this nice,
It's a rubberized.
Yeah,
It's a rubberized collar.
I was trying to say grommet, but that's
Right,
not
no.
it either. It's like a washer, but it's rubberized, and so it seals the hole once you put the screw in,
So it doesn't.
so that it doesn't leak
Correct.
through your roof.
And this you should do. I mean, don't go to save $2 and have a leaking roof, right? I mean,
Right.
that doesn't worth any savings you might get. This is the only special equipment we used in this whole project, right? Now we did something else off camera, and that was one of our panels we had to cut to size, right?
Yeah.
And that is because we wanted a hangover, not
An overhang.
an overhang.
We want a hangover.
We
We'll
wanted
have a hangover.
Mrs. DIY. Do you want a hangover? No. But actually, for our size, we would have saved a panel and the need to cut it if we didn't want an
overhang.
And if you want to show them, that's what we mean here. You know, it's like,
So
if you like that, I mean, it's very nice. It's a nice detail and will also prevent water from dropping into the deck, right?
right.
In our log house, we had a professional built deck, and actually it was really leaking into the
Yeah,
deck
a lot. And
because
then,
it was zero overhang.
plus they didn't seal your
Right.
gutter, so that was the professionals' fault.
Correct. So we have some, as I said, some little cosmetic things to do.
And we do
but-
have an overhang on front, but this is also intentional.
Yes,
to
and
keep
this
the
is
rain
going to
from
change a
coming
little
in.
bit, right?
Yeah.
Because we're going to actually put a front fascia,
Okay.
and then this will bend over the front fascia. So when it's set in water, it will not come underneath, right?
Okay.
It will fall down. But even here, because of we have an about 1 degree angle, this will not come to the deck. This will,
Right.
I don't have any worry about that, you know. This will be great. In fact, I'm looking forward to our first rain. Now this will be cool. I will have a nice chair here, and I'm going to enjoy the rain. It's something I really enjoy, and nowhere in our house we have a place that we can be dry and enjoy the rain, right? And I have visions in the future. Maybe a nice exterior heater, you know, something to enjoy the winter. No, you don't.
Sure.
And I bet you, because now it's covered, when we turn the grill on, probably we'll get nice heat.
It'll be like a space heater, yeah.
Correct. So what did we learn, Elpida? As I said, this is the only special. In fact, you can build this if you don't have to cut the panels. You can build this using a standard drill driver. I mean, that's all we use, and
Yeah.
and just a normal beat.
Yeah.
I
Wanna
don't know
see?
what I'm talking about today.
We're all a little tired.
Yeah. So that is the only.
It's basically just
Yeah.
this to fit, the ratchet thing, and then
And don't use cheap ones. I bought cheap ones, and they were magnetic. And for about the first 2 panels, they work fantastic.
and then
they
the
start dropping, and
the magnet disappeared.
yeah, the magnet. You see a very nice hole, but no magnet there, right? I don't know if
Yeah.
it's visible.
Yep.
Which was a little aggravating because I went around the yard holding it like this, and the screw was steady, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the first few screws were perfect.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, and that does delay you a little bit, and it's annoying. I mean,
A little bit,
not-
but
it's
still,
not a deal breaker.
we managed. We managed.
so really no special equipment needed, right? Labor-wise, people say the labor is expensive. Yes, it is. So there were 3 of us that worked, would you say on average 5 hours every Saturday?
Yeah.
So we're talking about 15 times 3, 45 hours. 45 hours does not worth $4,500 in my book, even in skilled labor, right? Because
Yeah.
that's what it was. if you want to talk money, right? Mm-hmm. So and again, the advantage of this is we did it exactly how we wanted,
Right.
and we didn't have to worry about what the so-called professionals, what corners will cut. And one of the lessons we learned is that I assume people do things semi-right, and that causes the most grief in this specific project,
Right.
because I did not check that they had actually cut the tops of the posts straight. And we did our part, we did that perfectly,
Right.
and things were not working out, and because the professionals didn't do it correctly. So $5,000 versus $500, and I feel we did it better. What do you think, Lupita?
I think we did a great job.
Mrs. DIY, do you want to say anything?
She waves.
She waves. She's not on camera. She doesn't like to be on camera, but she waved at you guys. So.
Yeah.
And smiled.
Yep.
All right, so we had fun. I think we enjoyed the project, and we're looking forward to using it.
Yep. Up here on the roof, this is what we've gotten so far. I think we have 2 more panels left to do of our total of 9. And you can see where the screws are going in. Approximately the same spots. And again, you're just trying to get those in those cross beams. We've got the seams lined up here. And this one in particular happened to hit across where the support beams are, so that's why the screw is in the middle. And then here on the end, we're matching them up. Ooh, we're matching them up with this header there. So we're making progress, and again, I think we have 2 more panels to go.
Be careful. So here we are, we're losing light. We worked for a good part of the afternoon. Really what is against us right now is that it gets dark sooner, right? I mean,
Right,
it's not
we're
that
in-
late in the day, but we unfortunately running out of light, but we finished. We're going to do some beautification projects, but the major project is finished. The deck is covered, is protected from rain, right? It is what we wanted. This is it. And the neat thing I think about this is that if you decide to do a different roof, you can actually do it on top of the galvanized roof, because this is a very, very good substrate, right?
Okay.
So you can put anything you want, or if you didn't want a metal roof, you could just put plywood and then a normal shingles roof. The way we saw it, it doesn't make any difference, right? Technically, we overbuild it for what it is,
The structure is the same. It's
Right.
just whatever you choose to use as a roofing material.
because we wanted it to be, if we want to change our mind, we wanted to be able to knock this out and do it, right?
Right.
So we overbuild it, but we build it exactly, you know, all of them, they're 16 inches off center. They are according to code. We use the correct hangers. Again, that's according to code, right? So another few things we want to mention today. Every channel, and we do talk about safety sometimes, but on this specific project, safety was very important. Especially on something we didn't record, and that was cutting the metal panel, right? Metal panels generate metal shards that can be very, very, very dangerous if they hit you in your eye. So eye protection is paramount, right?
Right.
And when you work with metal panels, all of us were wearing gloves.
These are leather gloves to help
Correct.
prevent any sort of cutting or anything. It's very important because
Again-
they will cut you.
Again, this is not the area to cheap out, right?
Right.
Wear nice gloves. Don't wear the $3 gloves.
Right,
You're
right.
going to get yourself cut, right?
Right.
When you're in ladders, safety. We always had a person holding the ladder. We have a person putting the person on the ladder and one person on the ladder, right?
Right.
We never left that person alone. There was no point that we compromised the safety of any of us to do this. And I think in all projects it's important, but in this specific project was paramount because we're talking about heights and we're talking about things that were dangerous. The panels, I don't call them specifically very heavy. When they're combined, they can be heavy, like
Yeah.
4 and 5 feel heavy.
Yeah.
But the problem with the panels, these are 12-foot long panels.
Right. So
I think-
they're bulky.
The biggest difficulty is they're hard to manipulate,
Maneuver.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But we didn't need any special equipment to put them up, and we didn't need anything special, right?
Right.
Another thing about the screws I forgot, they're self-drilling, so you don't have to make pilots, and they're specifically made to go through the metal to wood. Again, don't use just any screw for this. First of all,
Right.
you will regret it because most screws will not go through metal, right?
Right.
And then it will leak all over the place and you will be tired. I mean, all kinds of this. Do on a project like this, use the right stuff.
Right. It'll make your life so much nicer.
Absolutely. So, anything else, Elpida?
No, I think we've covered all the safety. Just when we were bringing in the panels, we brought them up here and we would set them up the right way and then feed them up this way. This worked for our application, just to help feed it across the roof line and then into place. And then if we needed to scoot it to overlap and get it in the channel, we could do that.
So, there are details that there are beautification details that we've left, but the build is done. And we might do another episode when we make it a three-season porch, because that's the plan, right?
Yeah.
We're going to enclose it, but all three of us have day jobs, and we simply we don't have the time to do all that at one time.
Right. So it's an as we get time
Right,
kind of thing.
but one of the things, for example, we have to remove all the tops here and cut them so they will be flush. So when we do the screening, it will look nice and will not look like an afterthought, right?
Right.
And of course, we're going to paint it and everything will match. So there are a few little things done, but the construction is done. And that's what we wanted to show.
And it transforms the space already. It really
and
does.
it actually adds value to the house. I mean, if you think about it, this is a project that when people come, they will visit the house, and it almost gives you an extra room, especially in North Carolina.
Yeah.
We don't have very heavy winters, right? It gives you an extra room. It's very, very
I know
nice.
at the place that I'm renting, that was really one of the big things that made me want that spot, was that I have a screened-in
Right.
patio.
It is really
Yeah.
useful. It is really useful. Anyway, I love it, and we might make many projects with the beautification projects, but again, for our purposes, that was to show you how to build this
Right.
in 3 easy weekends, or not so easy.
Not
weekends.
so easy, but it's done.
I mean, it is work. Let's be honest about it. This is not something that you can just, and you cannot half-ass it, because this is about safety too.
Right.
You don't want this falling on your head. That's pretty heavy, actually. But today, when we were moving things around, we put ladders on it. We had no movement, right? I mean,
Right.
the whole thing feels solid, and you want it solid, right?
Yeah.
But I wonder, like, when we have the grill on, probably this will be nice and warm, because
I think so. Yeah.
They will not be missing anything. I'm rambling now, so it's
A
probably
little
time.
bit.
Unless you have anything else to say, what is that?
We're rambling, going back and forth, back and forth.
All right, folks.
All right, we're wrapping.
Wrap. The only thing, most people might want to connect it to the house, and we didn't.
Right.
And we don't see a reason, actually, still, right? I mean, it's like,
There's really not much wind through here, so unless something real crazy happens.
yeah, I think we're okay.
Yeah.
I think we'll survive. So, this is it, folks. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Urban Homesteading Channel with Professor DIY. And if you did, we'd appreciate a thumbs up. If you didn't, hit the other button twice. Share, like, subscribe. Let us know what else you might want to watch in future episodes. From Professor DIY, Mrs. DIY, and Elpida, have a wonderful day.